I used to think staying meant I loved you more. Now I think I just loved you longer than I should have. Oh, I remember the first time I thought about leaving. Not packing a bag, just thinking it. You were sitting across from me, barely looking up from your phone, and I was telling you something important. Something about my day, something about me. And halfway through, I realized I was talking to myself. That should have been enough, but it wasn't. I kept waiting for things to go back to who we used to be, without admitting we hadn't been those people in years. I stayed too long, long after the effort disappeared, long after the conversations got cold, long after I started feeling lonely beside you. I stayed too long, holding on to memories, while reality kept showing me the truth. And every extra year I gave you cost me a little more of myself. Stayed when your apologies became shorter and your excuses became longer. I stayed when I started lowering my expectations, just to avoid disappointment. I stayed when reassurance became something I had to practically beg for, and I hate admitting that, because the woman I was before you would have never accepted that. I wasn't staying because things were good. I was staying because I remembered when they were. And that's a dangerous thing to build a future. Stopped feeling like home, after every difficult conversation ended with me carrying the emotional weight alone. I stayed too long, trying to save something that required two people, while only one of us was trying. You know what nobody tells you? The hardest relationships to leave are the ones that end slowly. Not with betrayal, not with one terrible moment, but with 1,000 small disappointments spread across years, until one day you realize you're grieving someone who's been emotionally gone for a very long time. I stayed too long, but I'm done punishing myself for that now, because I know why I stayed. I stayed because I love deeply, because I believe people could change, because I thought commitment meant enduring everything. But I've learned something since then. Love shouldn't require self-abandonment, and staying shouldn't cost you your peace. but I won't stay there emotionally anymore. For a long time I thought leaving was my failure. Now I understand. The real mistake was believing I deserved